If it's happening in Burbank, you ought to know, so tune in to the Mike and Roy Show.
And now,
Mike and Roy.
Hello, Burbankers, and welcome back to the Mike and Roy Show. We have a very special show and a very special guest. I'd like to introduce the great Brian Smith, chairman of our School Facilities Oversight Committee.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. We're going to talk about Measure I. The election's coming up March 3rd. Measure I is a parcel tax that we're voting on. Yep. Money going to the schools. Tell us why we should vote yes on Measure I.
Four main reasons. We want to retain and attract teachers. We want to invest in our STEM classes, health and wellness, and we want to keep those class sizes small.
It's great that you're here. Thanks for taking the time to join us here on the set of the Mike and Roy Show. So we did kind of a neat thing with Facebook. We invited folks to send in questions for you, and we appreciate that you're letting us try to trip you up with them. So one of the concerns is that we've heard from a number of people how the district being fiscally responsible. Mm-hmm. And we've seen, and I know you brought some notes here, but cuts, and because a lot of people will go after the superintendent on down, administration. They see that everybody there is making a ton of money in their view, you know, and that's where the cut should be made, and we shouldn't be coming after homeowners or property owners for more parcel tax. What can you talk about? What can you tell us about that? What the administration has done and maybe tighten their belt?
Well, they've already eliminated some of the administration jobs. So, Director of Secondary Education, Director of Wellness, a few vice principals, and so they're already kind of doing that. Facility supervisor also.
And this has been in the last a time frame of how recently?
Within the last year. So those positions have been eliminated or not filled.
Can we expect to bring those positions back if Measure I passes?
I don't know if that's what's going to happen. Primarily, we're focused on making sure that we don't lose educators, and if there is the ability to bring those positions back, I think they'll do it. But it's important to get information. The superintendent has held a couple of town hall meetings, and they talk about what's going to be cut. And there was also an article in the paper about the cuts that have already been slated to happen.
And there's a town hall meeting coming up at Jordan Middle School. If people want to know about that, where can they get more information?
On the school district website.
Great.
Everything is laid out right there. Yep.
What about pensions? Let's talk about that. That's another elephant in the room for a lot of folks, that they figure a lot of this money is going to be sucked into that. We have an obligation to our teachers, of course, and that is, we have to do that. It's right thing to do. So, but pensions, and how much of the money, if Measure I passes, is it going to get to what you know? What can you tell us about getting into the classroom to the kids?
So the pensions come right off the top from state funding. Okay. And if you want to know more about state funding, you can go to Ed 100, and there's a lot of information about how our schools are funded. But we talked about sort of the four pillars, and there are percentages that were outlined in the original request to put this measure on the ballot. So, about 40% or so for attracting and retaining teachers, 2 to 7% for low class sizes, and then expanding the STEM and arts is in the 40% or so area, and then increased safety and wellness is in the 10%.
Okay, thank you.
We served together on the School Facilities Oversight Committee, overseeing the Measure S bond, and you have been wonderful for the past few years as the chairman.
Thank you.
And
we miss you, by the way.
Thank you very much. Wish I could say the same. No, I do miss you guys. I miss serving.
Yeah.
You guys have fun. I'll sit over here.
Yeah.
Praise each other.
But I really noticed when Dr. Matt Hill came in and took over as superintendent that he showed great leadership. He also, in our meetings, is highly transparent. And if there's ever questions that we pose, if he doesn't know the answer, he'll get us the answer. He's not afraid to answer any question. I really appreciate that about Dr. Hill. When we voted on Measure QS, that did not pass a parcel tax for the schools, I couldn't support it. And it killed me to go to those meetings and sit there in front of Dr. Hill and not be able to support that. One of the main reasons was there was no sunset clause.
Right.
Well, I told him that, and he came back with Measure I. There is a sunset clause, and so I'm honoring my word to Dr. Hill and supporting it. Tell us about the sunset clause.
So it's 12 years. So it's basically one whole cycle. If you have your child come in as a kindergarten, and then the voters can decide if that's something that they want to continue supporting, and then hopefully they'll keep going with it. And the other thing I wanted to mention about Dr. Hill and being on the Measure S thing was the transparency of having an oversight committee. The composition will be very similar, so it'll be like a taxpayer, a parent, active PTA,
Senior.
Senior business representative. So those participants, those members, while they are appointed by the board, oftentimes it's someone who wasn't necessarily in support, and this is an opportunity for them to really ask tough questions.
Yeah, I didn't support Measure QS, and I was asked to apply to be on the oversight committee, and I did that, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I see how much the district needs this. You brought up seniors, and there was some misinformation in the community about the senior citizen exemption. And some people were saying, oh no, you're not exempt as a senior at 65. You're only exempt if you are below the poverty line or a percentage of the old poverty line. Clear that up for us.
And Mike's very close to the senior thing, so I've got years away from me. But anyway, sorry.
So if you are a senior over 65 and you live in your residence, you own it, you will be exempt. You fill out a form, and it doesn't have to be renewed. And it's actually very easy. But it can't be a rental property or something. It has to be your primary residence.
Got it, yeah.
But no income restrictions.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, good. Let's couple things together. So some folks are worried this goes through as a renter, they vote for it.
Yep.
And let's take that and go into businesses like big box stores or something. And I thought you talked about a number earlier that I think it puts things in perspective a little bit. If we can talk about renters and also jump over to used IKEA as an example.
That's right.
Can we maybe talk about that stuff?
Sure. So the number that I've heard for IKEA, and that's obviously a very big, store.
Bigger parcel tax, right?
Yeah,
Footprint,
it's a bigger footprint. They're going to pay about $40,000 a year.
Okay.
And
That's a lot of Swedish meatballs.
It is.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that the price of the meatballs is going to go up. So I don't believe that that's going to be passed on. And especially with someone who has a lot of property, they may be part of a larger corporation. I just don't see those prices going up.
What about renters who are concerned that their landlord would pass this on to them and raise their rent?
It's possible. It depends on if the landlord wants to raise the rent and pass that additional charge on. But I think renters need to keep in mind also that their rent could go up anyway. Their rent may have gone up this year.
Sure.
And it's not necessarily just because of a parcel tax.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard to tell. You never know.
We really appreciate all your thoughts. Did you have any other things you want to bring up, Mike? Or?
Just the fact that just because I'm supporting it, Roy, I really respect the fact that you're still gathering all the information, and I know you're going to vote. And I think it's important to get the word out to the community to vote. Vote your heart. Vote how you feel, but get the information.
On March 3rd.
March 3rd, please vote and show the rest of the community that you care. I'll be there. You'll be there.
Something?
No.
I was going to leave you. Give us a macro view of this whole. That's okay.
Two things.
Please.
I just wanted to say, at least please go out and get information. Yes, for BurbankSchools.com, and everything is outlined there. And then the only other thing I was going to mention is that we have various stakeholders within the city. Right, we've got parents, we've got property owners, and so everybody has a stake in this. If you are a parent, obviously it's important to you. If you're a property owner, it should be important to you as well. It was for us when we bought here. We weren't parents then, but a quality school district helps keep and make property values go up and stay there. So that should mean that should be an important thing.
Yep, that's why we purchased our home in Burbank, because we knew the schools were great. My daughter went through Burbank schools, and that was really important for us to keep her in Burbank schools. Roy's 2 children, the same.
Yeah.
We're also hearing that a lot of people are moving to Burbank because of the Mike and Roy show. Now that's just a side note.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But
Well, of course they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
next
perfect.
time you come on the show, it'll be a bigger studio,
Yeah.
and we'll have better craft services for you. Although
These
the
cookies
cookies
are
are
delicious.
delicious,
Yeah.
made
Thanks,
by
honey.
Roy's
I
wife
love them.
Angela.
espresso and chocolate chip.
Oh, they're delicious.
They are.
Yeah.
They're
Well, we'll get some milk, and we'll see you next time on,
on
the Mike and Roy show.
Mike and Roy.